Hello, it's me, I'm back, and welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I want to talk about everybody and everything in regards to Chelsea at the moment. You know what, man? I'm kind of getting cooked a little bit. I understand people are emotional and upset, and it's important for me to assert that I am not Potter in. I've just never, not supported the manager. I don't call for the manager's head. I didn't do it, growing up. And since making content, which was since the Sarri days, I didn't call for Sarri's head. I didn't call for Lampard's head. I certainly didn't call for Thomas Tuchel's head. And I'm not necessarily calling for Graham Potter's head. I'm not saying that he should stay. It's just not the way I function. I support the gaffer and I generally try and support the players. But fortunately, for all perhaps you who disagree, it's not my decision. It's the club's. Graham Potter might be sacked today, and I will accept that. It's very difficult, I understand, to accept him staying, because what that is conducive right now is what we're seeing. Now, yes, there might be mitigating circumstances, bloated squads, touch of unluck, out of form, as well as just the gaffer not performing well. But there's something I want to talk about in this video as well. And I want to get into a couple of bits today. So thanks for joining me. And, thanks for your continued support, you guys. Been making content a long, long time. And we are certainly in the trenches. This is the most difficult time. Hey, why not subscribe? If you want to. You're welcome to if you want to. So look, man. I'm gonna be 34 in a couple of weeks. Wow, damn, that's a sobering thought. And Chelsea have been through difficult times, but certainly since I've been making content, this is the most tricky, tough period. Of course, I wasn't on YouTube when Jose Mourinho imploded, and we were 16th at some point, and we were genuinely in a relegation battle with a club that had just won the Premier League. So all you people were saying, this club has just won the Champions League 2 seasons ago and now we're 10th. Remember that. Mourinho had Eden Hazard, Diego Costa, Thibaut Courtois, John Terry. And we were in a relegation battle at points there. So it can happen. Now, it's tough because I wanted to say, look, you know me. I was going through the comments on my previous upload, and a lot of people are just commenting perhaps with their frustrations and emotions rather than reacting to what I'm actually saying, which is fine. That's human nature. But I'm not saying this guy has to stay. All I've maintained throughout this process is that I have for such a long time understood that the modern landscape of football requires a steady ship and infrastructure to be successful at the highest level and for sustainability. And for sustainability for an ownership to see a return on their investment, and heavy investment has been made into this club. Unless, of course, you're Manchester United and the Glazers, where they've just make so much money and they take money out of the club. But Chelsea need to do better. But obviously right now, but before Todd Boehly and Clearlake bought Chelsea. And you might be thinking, what, Yen? We just, won the Champions League recently. No, but generally in how they run and how they need to find consistency and how they, generate and keep talent and how they, not lose talent on free transfers, etc. The scope for improvement for Chelsea was profound. Remember, Roman Abramovich, he wrote off 2 billion debt for Chelsea. 2 billion debt. Chelsea is not a sustainable project, business. Chelsea just simply was not sustainable. So, these new data-led people have come in and go, right, this is generally, it's been high-octane drama and fun, but it's not sustainable. And also, you guys haven't even been anywhere near the league for 6 years or 5 years or whatever, half a decade at that point. And to change that, we need to bed in the foundations of long-term success. And this is I'm not talking about Graham Potter, because, whatever, he can go, fine. What I'm talking about is the squad from the ground up, the Project 2030 vision board, which you guys understandably may not want to hear right now, but I'm just explaining and reaffirming or reasserting my position. And I like all that. The vibes, the mixed players and the no context. Because the thing is, Potter could go, you could get in a new gaffer, but you keep Vivell, you keep Winstanley, which, although he might probably go with Carl McCauley because he's affiliated to Potter, but you keep Vivell and Lawrence Stewart and, everyone you can, the geezer from Monaco. You keep this idea and you keep these people and these long-term project stuff. And yes, there of course is ambition, because Chelsea have spent a profound amount of money. This might sound wild to you, but there is a very, very good argument Chelsea have the best squad in the Premier League. 10th place. Same amount of goals since Everton in November, whatever. But if you'd indulge me, Kepa, Mendy, both very good. Might even improve that. Loads of good centre-backs. Badiashile, Fofana is like the future. Chalobah, Thiago Silva, might even get another one. Ben Chilwell, Reece James, world-class first options. Cucurella, yes, he's been going through personal stuff, but he is a good talent that costs £60 million. Malo Gusto to be the alternating right-back, the really talented young right-back. Kante, Enzo, Loftus-Cheek, who can play well, Chukwuemeka, Cassidy will come back, Andre Santos, Mateo Kovacic, there's more midfielders, Mason Mount, I don't know what happened there, Conor Gallagher can perform in the Premier League, even if you don't like him. Let's not think of Aubameyang and Ziyech are seasoned veterans, but let's just not even talk about them. Let's talk about everyone else. João Felix, Brugge, Datro Fofana, big future ahead of him. Mudryk, Pulisic will probably go as well, but you got Nani Madueke, you got loads of other talented attackers. Chelsea have got an incredible squad, and of course, Christopher Nkunku is coming as well. He must be really excited about that. Do you know what I mean? He must be incredibly excited to join this party. There is loads to be positive about Chelsea. The players are there. And I know it sounds boring, but it's something that I've personally wanted. The infrastructure's there. Of course, they've tried to build that around the current manager, and that may or may not work. Look, man, make no bones about it. If he keeps losing, despite their seemingly potent and reinforced faith every single time we lose, if he keeps losing, he will go. Because it will just become untenable. Chelsea fans have been patient, by the way. I've got absolutely no criticism. Chelsea fans, maybe not online, but everyone just regurgitates emotion online. But at the games, the away fans, the fans at Stamford Bridge, they've been they've been more than fair. More than fair. There's this understanding of where Chelsea are and how tricky it's going to be, and they've been good. They've been patient, because Chelsea fans, and Matt Law said this as well, they've been through tough times, but they've been understanding. All bets are off now. They can do whatever they want. They can start protesting, they can start taking out banners, they can do whatever they want, and you can't criticise them for that. They've been more than fair. And if he keeps losing, it will become untenable. So I want to talk about something that I think needs to happen. I was thinking this morning. I also listened to the London is Blue podcast. Dan Dormer was saying it. People are pissed off, and they don't like, the neutral, sterilised words coming out of Graham Potter's mouth, which exacerbates a bad scenario. It keeps him calm, and it's the way he works. But we need to hear something from someone. If they are absolutely not going to sack this guy, and like I said, I do believe it will become untenable if this continues, they need to put someone out there. Look, when we had Roman Abramovich, we had this oligarch who was just, up in the gods and looking down and would never say anything and kept his, neck himself to himself. Todd Bowley didn't say lots, but he did say quite a bit. He was at Stamford Bridge, shaking hands and kissing babies and being the face of the club. We've heard him speak publicly a lot unlike Roman Abramovich, granted not as the Chelsea owner on Chelsea platforms or representing Chelsea. We've seen Todd Boehly and indeed a bit of Ighbali speak at conferences about business, but referencing Chelsea sort of loosely and kind of externally. Excuse me. I think now a representative of the Chelsea board or indeed ownership needs to come out and be like, right, this is obviously bad, but this is what we would like. I understand how that's like a sort of precarious position to come out, because they might be saying how they intend, how they feel, and then in a couple of games be like, well, you know, screw this. They should have said something by now. Or even if they say, look, guys, we understand this is painful and difficult, and we recognize that, but we are really confident in a long-term vision that, or even not that, just say, look, this is the reason why this is happening, or just talk a bit. Even if you say some like generic nonsense, just be like, hello, this stinks. This stinks, and we recognize that. We're here to, even if you just reinforce your same generic responses or, you know, one-liners that you regurgitated when you bought the club, just be present, bro. Do you know what I mean? Just be like, look, this is terrible. This stinks. I can see you are all very upset. This is not what we're about. Because you're not going to get anything from Potter. Potter's going to give you these generic things. He's going to work behind the scenes. He's not, on front of a camera, he's not going to say anything theatrical or, you know, spicy one way or another, which will only exacerbate and frustrate. So if you got an owner or a representative, or, you know, whether it's Vivell or Stewart, or, you know, just someone to come out and be like, you know, this sucks. Of course we're going to try. Our aim is still to be the best, by the way. This is, not only is this not good enough generally, but this is literally the antithesis, the opposite of what we're going to be. We want to be the top of the table. Our vision is to be able to try and win the Premier League every single season. That's the aim, and we believe we've got the methodology and direction to eventually get there. Believe me, that's what we're trying to do, because people are fading away from that. They're like, right, but we're just losing games. We just, you know, can we like upgrade ourselves to a Europa Conference League team? Are they just expecting, no, you know what? This is crap, of course it is. But no, next season will be challenging for the title. In the same way Mourinho's season and then Conte. Is that what they're thinking? And they're saying this will happen with Potter? Or are they secretly thinking, no, we're going to line up another manager for the summer? Just say words, man. Say words. Just say, look, we acknowledge it's bad, but this is ultimately the vision. Because people are losing the vision. Right now we're just like throwing money around and just not watching goals go in the net. Or balls go in the net to create goals. I wanted to say that, man. I think maybe this morning my reflection on the game was probably poorly received. So this is why I wanted to make a video and talk a little bit more personally. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, click that sweet like button and subscribe. We're going to make it through, I promise. You and me together. We'll look back on this and laugh.